Okay. Pep, bald fraud.
Hello EFD squad and welcome back to Euro Roundup where me and Pato discuss your winners and losers, you dirty dogs. But first and foremost, Pato, how was your weekend? Because it was somewhat of a mixed bag, wasn't it?
Yeah, wedding anniversary. That was good. I got to celebrate it with my wife. Was reminded of the time that Joe was not invited to my wedding, a decision I will never regret. But then a pipe burst in my house, not a euphemism. Just a really wet house, not a euphemism.
You could have used me, mate.
You're very
slaloming
me
around
today.
the floor.
You'd be rolling around on the floor like a serpent.
Wouldn't be the first time we've rolled around on the floor together.
Well, let's keep that for winners
You're
and
right.
losers after dark.
Football Daily After Dark, I was going to say, took the words out of my mouth. Speaking of words, we have a new section. We're calling it Twitter Beef. Somewhat similar to Hot Takes, but mine's from Khalid this week.
Okay.
I'm going to make this nice and succinct. He thinks that Pep Guardiola has ruined Zinchenko by playing him at left back. Whereas my counter-argument was experience and minutes in one of the greatest club sides in Europe at 21 can only be a positive. And Pep actually has a pretty good track record at changing people's position to great effect. I'm thinking Philipp Lahm. I'm thinking Messi, false 9. I'm thinking Ribery, false 9.
Yep.
So who do you agree with, me or Khalid? Let me know in the comments below. Who's your beef from? Lay it off, carve it off.
I've got an injection of hot beef for you. Yeah, mine is from Oggy Owen. He says, without Neymar, PSG are a better team. What ye think? R is just the letter R. Team is in capitals. And he said ye, which is really f***ing weird of him. Yeah, basically, no, you're an idiot. And everything you've written to me this week, while I appreciate your involvement in my web presence, you can't f***ing type, mate. Like, you've got Edward Scissorhands. Like, sort it out. Just had enough.
Maybe he's got really fat fingers like me.
Can you imagine how bad I'll feel? What, with the dialing wand?
Sausage fingers, potato picking hands. Anyway, let's go on to our first winner. Because it's Lionel Messi, who scored a pretty good free kick, didn't he?
Yeah.
And this comes from Ashfaq Zain 26. Kick us off.
Yeah, Messi got his 600th career goal. I think 61 of those are for Argentina, and the other 539 are for Barcelona. And Barca beat Atleti 1-0 in this crucial top of the table La Liga clash. Now, their lead at the top of the table is now 8 points with 11 games to go. Of course, 11 games away from invincibility as well. That would be Messi's first time to go through a season unbeaten. He's at the top of La Liga's scoring charts with 24 this campaign. I believe he's also top of the assist tree with 12. He's got 3 more than his nearest rival in assists, and he's got 4 more than his nearest rival in goals. And if he finishes top of both of those, it'll be the first season he's ever done that. Suarez is the only guy to have done that in La Liga.
The assist tree. I like that.
I couldn't think of anything. I just said a word. Let's just move on. Anyway, it's his second free kick goal in 4 days and his 5th of the season. That's the most in Europe's top 5 leagues. Turns out he is good at literally everything, and he's on course to score 40-plus goals in all competitions for the 9th consecutive season. He's already achieved 10 consecutive seasons of 30-plus goals. What an absolute piss taker.
Yeah, he's pretty good at kicking a football, isn't he?
Yeah, he's well good at it.
Guillaume Balaguer was actually at the game and has something to say about Simeone's tactics before I move on to my section. So let's delve straight into that.
Hello, I'm just back from the Camp Nou, where we've seen a fantastic game from the tactical point of view, not so much from the entertaining side of things. And that was down to what Atletico Madrid tried to do in this game. A first half that was conservative. They tried to go for a 0-0 and then attack and finish Barcelona off in the second half. The words just after the game from Jimenez, who was outstanding, for me one of the best centre-backs in the world right now, when he actually said that there was a problem of attitude, especially in the first half. In the middle of all that, there was a decision by Simeone to put the 11 that we expected with 4 centre midfielders that were there to hold the game, and then of course in the second half he put 4 forwards together, which is not the usual at Atletico Madrid. And the reason why they did it that way is because Atletico Madrid felt that Barcelona are physically suffering right now. It was only 60 odd hours between the game against Las Palmas and the one against Atletico Madrid. Do you think that Simeone got it right? I think he got it wrong. But what do you think?
Some interesting insight there then, Pato. Playing 4 central midfielders in the first half and then going for it in the second half. I feel like that's what Conte wanted to do against Manchester City to an extent, but ultimately the purists come out in both ties, deservedly so as well, because Atletico were second best from start to finish in this game. They only had 42% possession, 6 shots to 16, 1 on target to Barcelona's 5. Even more impressive when you consider the home side lost Iniesta early in the first half and had to bring Andre Gomes on, who has not been good. But like Guillem said, after the 66th minute, Atletico went balls to the walls for it. Had Costa, Griezmann, Gamero and Correa on, looking to punish that defence, but they only managed 1 shot off target between them. Titi was like, f***ing Gandalf, mate. You shall not pass. But Thomas Partey, on a brighter note, or Partey, was pretty good for the Rojiblancos. Managed 11 tackles and interceptions with an 88% pass act. So the future looks bright for him. Atletico now turn their attention to Lokomotiv Moscow's visit on Thursday, with the Europa League looking like their best bid for silverware. But what do you think? Have Barca got it wrapped up now, guys? Did Simeone well and truly up his tactics? Let us know in the poll. Did I do a poll prior? In the poll prior and the comments below.
Over to our losers now, and our first losers of the week are Napoli. This comes from @Vittoria6. We got this one horribly wrong when we predicted the result the other day, right? Because we thought Napoli would beat Roma, and that was not what happened.
What do we know, eh? I mean, more than your average Joe. More than Joe. Yeah, Napoli lost 4-2 at home to Roma. Didn't really see it coming. Roma have been struggling for goals recently. Napoli barely conceded in their last 10. But Eusebio Di Francesco's men, who I made an acronym of Eusebio Di Francesco on Twitter as EDF. And I just thought that looks very nationalist, very far right. But
or energy related.
So EDF's men, yeah. Or, yeah.
Yeah, this guy.
But yes, EDF's men have reduced Napoli to just the 1-point lead at the top, and now Juve have a game in hand and a +5 advantage in goal difference. So it's all starting to look very ominous at the business end of this season in Serie A. The loss also ends the Gli Azzurri's 10-match winning streak. Like I said earlier, barely conceded over those 10 games, only conceded 5 goals. Now Roma's 4 goals here account for more than a fifth of Napoli's total goals conceded in the league this season. 19. A little bit like
19.
Man City, you know. Attack is the best form of defence, and that is why they've captured the imagination of the neutrals. It's why we love them. It's why we want them to win the league. Fucking Juve. Boring, although I'm a big fan of Allegri. Anyway, it's also the first time Napoli have conceded more than 2 goals in a league game since December 2016. So what I'm getting at, Pato, is it shouldn't have happened.
No, it shouldn't have happened. I mean, I genuinely can't tell you, because looking at these numbers, they're nuts. Napoli had 66% of possession. They completed 751 passes. Roma completed 375. For all the maths fans out there, that means that Napoli completed 1 more than twice as many as Roma. Quality stuff. They had 26 shots to Roma's 11. They had 13 on target to Roma's 5. Insigne and Mertens had 20 shots between them. Guess how many shots on target Insigne had?
Don't know, tell me.
10. 10 shots on target.
Know.
Well,
just wanted to be
it was good.
gracious.
It was convincing up until then.
Yeah.
The next best on the pitch, 3. Dzeko had 3 shots on target, which is really good. It's a really good performance for a striker. Insigne had 10. That's mental. But Dzeko really did epitomise this kind of Roma display. They weathered the storm and they managed to just pull away in the last kind of 15 minutes of the match. He had 4 shots, 2 goals, 3 out of 4 take-ons completed, Edin Dzeko, and 4 out of 6 aerial duels won. So when he was called upon to do anything, he did it. It was absolutely incredible, really. Alisson had another blinder in
The octopus.
goal. The octopus, Finding Nemo 2 style. He made 11 saves, mate. 11
That's
saves.
crazy.
That's double the number he had to make against Shakhtar away from home in the Champions League.
He did something similar against Inter as well.
Yeah.
He's a madman.
He's good at goalkeeping, I'll give him that. He's going to be great at Arsenal next
Who
season.
starts in goal for Brazil? Edison or Alisson?
Julio Cesar. The Conqueror.
Old.
How many times did someone called Alisson invade Britannia? But anyway, Roma, the conquerors in this game, links. They come into third spot with
Pulled
the
it
win,
back.
while Napoli travel to Inter next Sunday. So, me, do they need to get back on the horse pretty quickly here. Congratulations to Roma. Unlucky Napoli, the little donkeys, another link. It's all coming together. They're not going to win the league, though, because you can just feel it, can't you? Juve are just going to house their way
In
to
my plums.
another gash title.
I can feel it in my plums.
Yeah, rubbish.
Our final winner comes from Almal Pelio 3, and it's the old lady who's hobbling her way to another Scudetto, isn't it, Pato?
Yeah, Juve beat Lazio 1-0 away at the Stadio Olimpico to gain the advantage that we were talking about before. They've obviously got that game in hand on Napoli. And this game, it was pretty dry, to be honest. A combined 10 shots between the two sides. Normally, we'd expect them to put up about 30 shots combined between them. Juventus had one shot on target all game, but that ended up being the only one that mattered. Paulo Dybala netting, I think, a 93rd minute winner. 3 of his last 6 Serie A goals have come in injury time. Also completed 7 dribbles, so he's on some Messi hype at the moment. Juve have now got 10 Serie A wins in a row. Their best ever is 15. The record is 17, which Inter set 11 years ago. Now, for Juventus to beat that record, they'd have to win their next 7 and then beat Napoli. That is how they would break that record. And to be honest, if they do that, they deserve to win the Scudetto again. A pretty dry game overall, and ended up being overshadowed by some horrible news coming out of Italy.
Yes, the weekend's footballing action was marred by the tragic news that Fiorentina's 31-year-old captain and Italy international Davide Astori had passed away from cardiac arrest during the early hours of Sunday morning. Tributes have flooded in from all corners, including Gigi Buffon, who put out a very heartfelt Instagram message, didn't he, where he intimated at not only his calibre on the pitch, but his personality off it. And it's not often you see a person like Gigi Buffon really pour his heart out in the public domain. So this obviously meant a lot to him. Antonio Conte, in his pre-match interview for Chelsea, was really struggling. Coached him for the national team. Allegri coached him, didn't he, at the start of his career as well. So it really did affect a lot of people in Italian football, and quite rightly, matches were postponed on the Sunday. And now it's a matter of, you know, the footballing community galvanising, surrounding themselves around his family. He has a young daughter, doesn't he? And it really puts things into perspective. We see these footballers as almost superhuman, don't we? But they're just as vulnerable as the rest of us. And it's pretty harrowing to see something like this fall out amidst a weekend's roster of games. Pat, you got anything to add to that?
No, I mean, our sympathy obviously is there for Francesco Fioretti, who is Astori's partner, and Vittoria, who's his 2-year-old daughter. It's just really sad news, and I think we all feel just depressed about it.
Yeah, discussing winners and losers in the context of that, it seems quite meaningless, doesn't it? Given the gravity of this situation, but like the rest of football, we have to keep the ball rolling, and rest in peace, David.
Our second and final losers of the week are Borussia Dortmund. This comes from @Leon Daniels. What happened to the Schwarzgelben?
Well, they drew, and Schalke are now second in the Bundesliga somehow, and Bayern are 20 points ahead. We discussed them over on winners and losers. Go and check that out on Football Daily if you haven't already. If you have, well, thank you very much. There's a 1-1 draw. Missed out on the opportunity to go second, as they have repeatedly done this season, Borussia Dortmund. But was a draw to be expected, Pato? Dortmund currently conceding 1.2 goals per game under Stöger, whilst Hasenhüttl's men are letting in 1.3, an element of destiny about it. The stats, though, showed Dortmund may be lucky to have got the draw, as RB had 11 shots to Dortmund's 4, but only managed to put 3 on target to Dortmund's 2, so uncharacteristically wasteful up top. One man who hasn't been wasteful though for them this season is Jean-Kevin Augustin, who opened the scoring for Leipzig, his 3rd consecutive game to do so. The 20-year-old joined Leipzig from PSG in the summer for £13 million and has been involved in a goal every 119 minutes. So he's adjusting to life well in Germany. Another good pickup from RB Leipzig, it would seem. But it was an old head who rescued the points, wasn't it, for Dortmund?
Yeah, it was indeed. Marco Reus levelled it up. It's actually his 3rd consecutive game on the bounce in which he scored.
Nice.
He came back from injury less than a month ago and he's found his form pretty much instantaneously. This goal against Leipzig means that he has now scored against all 18 of the teams currently in the Bundesliga. But arguably, he wasn't really the star in this game. We're starting to see some form from Mahmoud Dahoud, who, of course, hasn't really been taken to by the Dortmund fans this season because he hasn't been performing terribly well. But in this match, created 2 chances, completed a dribble, and made 7 tackles. So really the definition of a box-to-box midfielder. Dortmund now haven't lost a game since the 9th of December. That's 14 matches unbeaten. They remain a point behind Schalke, who are 2nd, level with Frankfurt, who are 4th, and they play them on Saturday. Before that, they play another Red Bull side, mate. They play Red Bull Salzburg in the Europa League. So it looks like they can't really escape the energy drink at the moment. How will Dortmund do at the end of the season? Let us know what you think in the comments below.
So that was this week's Euro Roundup. Thank you for your tweets, your comments. Keep them coming next week, guys. Watch out for the tweet that I put out on Sunday. That is how you contribute to the script. Pato, what else is on?
Head over to 90+1 Facts. We've got 90+1 Facts that are just like insane football facts. I've put that horribly. But it's actually a great video, so it's all the kind of weird stuff we couldn't find a space for in any of our other videos on 90+1 Facts. It's really funny, really interesting. There's some crazy shit in there. And we've just hit 20k subs, so we really want to thank you for your support. And I guess follow us on Instagram, get my Insta followers up. You know.
Photo of him in the bath.
It's f***ing good.
Good traps.
It's f***ing good. Erotic. Bye.